So, Passport family, quite a few of you guys have been messaging me, asking me how was it that I learned how to speak Spanish. And today I'm going to share with you guys some of the things that I did to help me get to this level of fluency. So number one, jumping right off the back, the number one thing that you guys want to do, the very first thing that you want to do before you even begin studying, picking up a book or anything like that, you want to start getting in contact with the language just through listening. So what I would suggest is music is a way to do that. You have podcasts is a way to do that. And you have movies. That's another way to do that. And the things that you want to look up are actual native content. That is going to help you. Now, I know some of you guys are saying, well, hell, I don't understand crap that they're saying because I don't know how to speak Spanish. That is not going to be important. What is going to be important for you is your ears just getting accustomed to the sound of Spanish. Even if you don't know what is being said. You know, training your ears as much as possible while studying is really going to help. So I would tell everybody the number one thing you want to do is just listen as much as possible. Like when I first started learning Spanish, I was listening to music in Spanish all the time. Every day, in the morning, at night, before I go to bed, you know, on my way to work, I would constantly just listen to music in Spanish. And that's going to help you because your ears is constantly staying in contact with the language, and that is very, very important, even if you don't know what is being said. Number two, you're going to get either one or both of these applications. They're called Pimsleur and Rocket Spanish. I suggest using those two apps over Duolingo, and I'm going to tell you why. Because using Pimsleur and Rocket Spanish are more so about speaking. So right off the bat, you don't know any Spanish words. You know, you probably haven't really strung together a sentence of Spanish in your life. So going into Pimsleur, you're going to do that on your first day. And you're going to constantly be taking lessons like that. Just repeating what Pimsleur is telling you to say in basically a format of putting you in a situation that you're overseas. Maybe you're ordering food. Maybe you're trying to get a hotel. Maybe you're trying to get a ticket for your plane flight. All of those things you're going to be doing in Spanish, in Pimsleur or in Rocket Spanish. And that's going to help you because you're speaking already. So your tongue is getting used to all of these different movements that is just, pause, but it's getting used to all these different movements that it never made before. And it's going to be important in building repetition when it comes down to speaking. So yeah, man, I really recommend you guys get either one or both of those applications. Now, number three, I know I already said this about staying in contact with the language through audio, but you also really want to watch. You really want to watch like movies or TV shows. Could be reels, could be, you know, Instagram in Spanish. Those things are really going to help you, especially stuff like, you know, little short movies or reels and stuff like that, because you can constantly just repeat those things over within a minute. So it's like constant repetition that you're not only hearing, but you're seeing like the action of what's being done. And that's going to help translate to what's being said. So like say you don't know you didn't know what a puerta is. Like, you know, in the action of the video, you're seeing someone close it, like it's a door. So you're seeing someone close the door, you know, stuff like that. Just simple things you're going to be able to pick up. Maybe you never heard a word before, but with them doing something, like the action of the word is going to just be imprinted into your mind. And that's going to help you remember things and recall things a lot easier, especially doing speech. Now, number four is also very important. You guys are going to want to get a private tutor. So private tutors are very affordable nowadays, especially being online. Listen, you guys want to become part of Preply or, you know, book classes on italki. Those are very cheap classes. There's a lot of other ways you can do it too, but those are very affordable. And look, this is why I really recommend italki and Preply. Listen, brothers, you guys can go through that list on italki of Spanish speakers, of native Spanish speakers, first of all, you can pick what country you want the native to be from. Okay? You can go through either Preply or italki and select what country you want the native to be from. So if you guys love going to a specific country, that's definitely going to be helpful for you. Or, if they don't have that country, like they don't have Cuba, because if you guys know how the economic situation is in Cuba, it's kind of hard to book Cubans for things like that. So you can pick a nationality that's close to it. Like if I know I'm going to Cuba, I would definitely want to find Dominicans to speak to. I would definitely look for Puerto Ricans. I would definitely look for Panamanians, even people in Cali, Colombia. Those are people I would look to try to speak with, to have a closer understanding of what Cubans may sound like. Also, guys, you're going to want to, you're definitely going to want to look for some of the most beautiful women to have a conversation with. At least that's what I did to make sure I'm interested in what the person is saying. That's how you're going to stay focused. Like, let's be real. We're learning Spanish to be able to communicate with people. We're learning Spanish to more so be able to communicate with the woman. And that's something that you're going to want to do, because you're not going to want to just spend your time just talking to an app or a person about apples and, and trees and mountains and stars. You want to talk about a lot of other things that involve dating, going out. How do you, how would you ask for a person number? Or, how would you, have a good time in the bedroom in Spanish? Like, those are things that you're going to want to know how to do. So why not practice them now? Don't wait till you're in that situation and now you're fumbling around in your brain trying to figure out, well, how do I say these things? So that's going to be very important. Using italki to practice different type of Spanish that you're just not going to be able to find on applications. And really, you're definitely not going to be able to find it listening to a lot of YouTubers who teach Spanish anyway. So number 5 is also going to be the next one that you should probably do sooner than later, is definitely select the nationality that you kind of more so want to mimic. It should definitely be the country that you spend the most time with talking. Like if you spend a lot of time talking to Colombians, definitely find a lot of Colombian content to listen to. Do a lot of italki classes with women from Colombia. If you're going to DR more so, then you want to do the same exact thing. Find Dominican content, which I found, after you get your algorithm accustomed to it, Dominican content just come flooding in. So it gets a lot easier when you customize your algorithm to it. So what I would suggest is actually opening up another YouTube account and use that YouTube account to search for Spanish content to a specific nationality, and then the algorithm is just going to flood it into you. That's what I did. So that way, when you're just focusing on Spanish, you don't have a bunch of other content. Like, on my channel, if I'm just scrolling through on my channel, then I'm seeing like a bunch of Passport Bros related content, a bunch of travel related content, Red Pill stuff. But if I switch it to my Spanish content, my Spanish channel, then I'm only getting a bunch of Spanish content flooded in, and I'm not getting all of that other stuff. So that is definitely going to help all of you guys as well. And look, you should definitely do the same thing with your Instagram or your TikTok if you're using that. All of those things are going to help you. Number 6, and this one is definitely going to help you guys build a very strong vocabulary. Reading along with audiobooks. So when you begin to download audiobooks, and this is very easy to do, man. You guys can get an audiobook app, and start listening to audiobooks for free. You don't even really have to pay anything right up front. You can start listening to it for free, about an array of different topics. And reading along with that while you're listening to the audiobook, it's just going to boost your vocabulary, bro. And it's going to like almost break the words down in your head to the point that you feel like you're speaking it, but while you're speaking it, it's almost like you can see it in your mind and you're like breaking it down the way it sounds. Like if you learn the alphabet, which is definitely something you want to do as well, but if I didn't do it at first, but I believe that would definitely help you guys as well. But if you're breaking the words down when you're reading and listening to the way someone is saying it, that is going to help you guys out so much. And it just helps you learn how to build sentences. So when you're speaking to someone, you know how to build, say the correct grammar, use the correct grammar, know how to form those words properly, and all of that. So audiobooks, man, those helped me out a lot, and I know it's going to help you guys out too. And look, once you build that algorithm up, you're going to be able to find a lot of different audiobook channels that speak Spanish, or like AI generated books in Spanish on YouTube. So yeah, that's going to help out a lot. So number 7, this is going to be one that, it depends on where you're living at in your area, but I believe many people probably have some of these. So go to the like a bunch of Spanish speaking restaurants. So if you're going to grocery shop or you're going to restaurants, try to make a conscious decision to go to Spanish speaking ones. Like Dominican restaurants is something that I frequented a lot when I was learning how to speak Spanish. I mean a lot. Like I spent a lot of money when I was learning how to speak Spanish, because I ate a lot of Dominican food here in Atlanta. And it was because not only was I living with Dominicans at the time, but when I couldn't talk to them, I could go to the restaurants and I could talk to them, because many of these Dominican restaurants around here, they don't have workers that speak English, or if they do, they don't speak very good English, so they much rather speak Spanish to you. So if you just learn even a little tiny bit, they will work with your Spanish. That's going to help out a ton. And you can do the same thing with the grocery stores. So the next one, passport family number 8, is going to be using Tinder to your advantage. You're going to be able to find a lot more beautiful women that you like, because you can control that speak Spanish. So I would definitely use them to your advantage, because first of all, they're the person that you want to talk to. Second of all, it's just going to be a lot easier for you to just select women to speak Spanish with. And if you're getting their WhatsApp and you're doing like video calls, or even sending voice notes, like a lot of females love, like in Latin America, love to send voice notes. At least Dominican Republic and in Panama, from what I see, they love to send voice notes. So I would definitely, get into that. And that's a way you can practice. So look, even if you're not talking over video chat, you sending voice notes, and you say you have to use Google Translate. Okay, you can Google Translate it, and you can practice saying what the Google Translate said, and just repeat it until you can say it without pausing. And when you can say that without pausing, then you can send the voice note like that, and you just go back and forth, and that's going to be training your tongue. So that's another thing I would suggest, using Tinder to your advantage. So getting to number 9, I'm going to tell you guys, man, everything that you do in English, just find a way to do that in Spanish. Like, I don't care if you like cars, if you like working on cars, or maybe you like sports cars. Maybe many of you guys like sports, like football, basketball. I know they have like different channels where you can listen to the announcer in Spanish. You have like people who probably like cooking or whatever, something like that. You guys can definitely watch shows like that in Spanish. Hell, if you into all that ratchet shit like I into, the music, the dancing and twerking, you can listen to like interviews from like the artists out there in Dominican Republic. That's what I do a lot. That's going to help you a lot. That's going to help you out a lot too. Just do things that you love to do. Instead of doing it in English, do it in Spanish, and try to think about it in a Spanish thinking mind. That's going to help out a whole lot. And number 10, passport family, number 10 is probably the number one way any man can learn how to speak Spanish, bro. It's going to help you out so much with your listening skills. The more you do it, it's just going to keep building repetition. And I really want to share this with you guys, but I'm not going to share it here on the platform. So listen, I always tag my videos in the Blue Book Passport Cartel group. So under that video in the comments, if you guys ask me what's number 10, if you guys are interested in number 10, then I'll share it with you there. I'm not going to share it with you here. So yeah, Passport family, you already know, man. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you guys. And listen, you already know that my email is in the description of the video. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask me, if you have a story that you want to tell me, just get at me. And yeah, Passport family, learn a new language, get your passport, and experience a new culture. I'm out.